Welcome to Racing to Win. This is the twice weekly preview show for racing in Hong Kong, and have we got a meeting coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday. The Group 1 City Hong Kong Gold Cup is the feature, sitting alongside the Classic Cup, the second leg of the 4-year-old series, and we're going to have both of those races previewed right here on the show. And to break it all down for us, we're joined by Paul Lally. Paul, it doesn't just stop there. The budding superstar Beauty Eternal's in early on the card too.
A really good card throughout. So it's really good. Some really good races. There's a couple of first starters which are really interesting as well that have trialled particularly well. There's a good jackpot as well. 4.8 million going into the triple trio. So that should get up to around over 9 million as well. So there's plenty something for everyone.
There is indeed. Just quickly on Beauty Eternal before we move on, have you got anything to beat him?
No, I think he's just going to get such a perfect run from his draw as well, and he's just onwards and upwards. So we've still got rating points in hand.
He's taking an alternative trip towards the Derby, and he goes to Class 2 for the first time. But horse withdrawal, race 3, Beauty Life has come out. He's not going to take on Beauty Eternal, so we're down to a field of 8 in the third. And race 10, Golden Empire, has been scratched. He was lame, so not going around. Karis Teton will ride Eremo, who comes into the race to replace him. The meeting details, we've got a little bit of dual course racing for you on Sunday, with the first 2 races on the all-weather and the remaining 8 on the A+3. Weather conditions supposed to be perfectly fine in Hong Kong. 1 o'clock kick-off, the 2 races we focus on. Race 7, the City Hong Kong Gold Cup, Group 1 over the 2,000 metres. And race number 9 at 5:10, the Hong Kong Classic Cup, a 4-year-old series leg number 2 over the 1800. But race number 7 is where we stop first, and Golden 60. He's a last start winner, of course, beating Romantic Warrior in the Stewards Cup in that terrific field. Romantic Warrior is a 4-time winner from 4 starts, course and distance. Tourbillon Diamond, he's placed 2 from 6 over 2,000 metres. He ran 4th behind Romantic Warrior in the Hong Kong Cup on International Day last time. Ka-Ying Star, he's yet to win past 1,600 metres. Money Catcher faded badly in the Centenary Vase last start, but he goes from the 1,800 to the 2,000. Glorious Dragon has his 3rd start for Pierrong, and Panfield should be better suited by the distance of this week's race being 2,000 metres after running 7th in the Stewards Cup last time. Speed map here, Paul. It's expected to be good. We know Money Catcher likes to go forward. Ka-Ying Star likes to go forward. Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior are going to both get perfect chances on the speed map. Yeah,
it's interesting because you've got Tourbillon Diamond and Romantic Warrior. Now, Tourbillon Diamond has sort of been in front of Romantic Warrior in the past, but they're stablemates, so they're not going to fight for the positions. They'll let each other sort of go in. Glorious Dragon and then Panfield, I think, will go towards the back in the small field. Look, I think it's going to be a good pace, because if they crawl, it's going to go into Golden 60's hands, and I think they'll want a good pace.
No, California Spangley was never going to run in this race. Yeah. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, not being there for either Golden 60 or Romantic Warrior?
I think Romantic Warrior probably would have preferred him in, because he would have ensured a really good pace in the race. But it's Money Catcher and Ka-Ying Star in there, so they should ensure a good pace.
As I said, that was hypothetical because he was never going to go there, but he was the 3rd of the big names in the Stewards Cup last time. Here are the previous winners of the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. Russian Emperor, a surprise winner last year. Of course, Paul, it was a rain-affected track and a brilliant ride from Blake Shin, but the conditions didn't suit Golden 60, did they?
They didn't at all. And he sort of lost 2 races in a row. This was one of them. But he did win it the year before. Time Warp Exultant, and Time Warp sort of made it his own, didn't he? Won 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah, Tony Cruz, a great record in the race recently. He will have Ka-Ying Star for James McDonald drawn barrier number 7. But we are going to hear from Vincent Ho. He, of course, rides the champ Golden 60.
How much are you looking forward, first off, to this weekend? Obviously, there's this big clash between himself and Romantic Warrior. Plenty to look forward to on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Romantic Warrior obviously proven very, very good in the 2000, which could be very hard to beat. But of course, it's one of the best horses in Hong Kong again. And race together is gonna be fun and exciting.
It certainly should be fun. It certainly will provide us with plenty of excitement. Going back to his win last time in the Stewards Cup, now he has got the beating, of course, of Romantic Warrior, but that was very much in your backyard over a mile. That race, Vincent, I imagine you couldn't have wanted it to go any smoother, and the way he won was very impressive.
Yeah, of course he had two good horses in front of us, and just could out sprint them in the final quarter. So yeah, it won very well, and it pulled up very well. Track work's been very well. So yeah, hopefully he can also do the same in 2000.
I know it's probably easy to say on the back of a defeat, but last time out's victory, as far as an overall performance goes, where does that rank in your mind? Because he's done it more often than not. Last time out, he was visually so impressive. Would that be right up there with probably some of the best of his performances?
I think it's one of his best. We can't say the best, but of course it makes it looks really good, because we're competing with another two great horses in Hong Kong. So, but obviously, I think he has done a lot, sort of best races before as well. Yeah, definitely one of the best as well.
You mentioned his track work, Vincent. He's also had a recent trial. Looked like a pretty easy trial. Did he come through that A-OK in your mind?
Yeah, that day we just go easy, because it's not too far off from last race, so you can just let him stretch his leg a bit, then going slow in the big track, and the turf gallop's been really well. Yeah.
He's an older horse now. He's a 7-year-old. 2,000 metres. I mean, you're taking on a very good one over 1.25 miles, but do you feel now, as he's got older, this is potentially where he's going to be best suited over a little bit further?
Yeah, he could do. He can still produce that sprint if everything was like before. So 2,000 is not really a problem for him. But of course, the other, Romantic Warriors is really good. So we'll see how it goes.
There he is, Vincent Ho on Golden 60. If you'd like to hear from Karis Thiessen on Romantic Warrior, Karis is on Hong Kong Direct this week. It's on the website hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. You can also meet Super Sunny Singh, who lines up in the Classic Cup. Nick ventured down to Chris So's stables to meet him. Here's the Stewards Cup here, Paul. Golden 60 in behind the leader, Romantic Warrior outside of him. 4 starts, 2,000 metres, Romantic Warrior. Won the Derby, the QE2, the Jockey Club Cup and the Hong Kong Cup on international dates. Quite a lineup.
Yeah, and this is his distance. Now, in saying that, Golden 60's 2 from 3, and the other time he failed was on a wet track. So, look, the way this race was run really suited Golden 60. I think there's no doubt Golden 60's got the better sprint on the two. But Romantic Warrior just keeps going, and you can see him hitting the line strongly, coming back once again to sort of beat California Spangle there. So, look, I think the 2,000 is definitely going to be Romantic Warriors. It's just how the pace of the run. He won't want a muddling pace.
Do you think Karis might even take off early to make sure that he can nullify some of that sprint of Golden 60?
Could well do, or Tourbillon Diamond, one of those horses, just to give themselves a chance, right, to get into the race. Because if they sit and sprint, Golden 60 should win.
The other one in that replay, Panfield, who appreciate the step up to the extra distance of the race, but realistically running for third at best.
It looks that way, doesn't it, with Panfield? Because look, he's run up to 2,400 metres, so the further the better for him.
We go back to the Centenary Vase now. Money Catcher leads for home here. Gee, was disappointing. He just found nothing here, Paul. He's going to the 2,000 metres again. He's placed 2 from 4, and we know he is a horse that's won over ground in New Zealand. Yeah,
so look, he was disappointing here. So let's see if he can bounce back. He's going to be on the pace. I thought James McDonald would put a bit of pressure on him with Ka Ying Star, though, because he's another horse that we know is a star and likes to go on with it. And he ran really well here, I thought. Look, the other horse here, Glorious Dragon, I thought he finished off really strongly, the grey running into 4th.
He's a 2-time winner over the 2,000 metres too, is a Glorious Dragon. We head back to the trials. What have you made of this trial of Money Catcher since that defeat in the Centenary Vase? He's 7th turning for home.
Yeah, so look, they rode him a little bit quieter, didn't they, in this particular trial. With him, it was sort of like a nice quiet trial from him, just keeping him up to the mark. He sort of got to the outside and ran on a little bit. So, look, the thing is with him, this is where he stretched out nicely towards the end. It's just what he's going to do on race day that worries me. He dropped out too quickly last time for me.
He's 35 and 3.1 early in betting. He went around as a 3.5 pick in that Centenary Vase, but obviously it's a much stronger field this week too. And Tourbillon Diamond, it's almost 10 weeks since we've seen him. He's had a trial over the 1600 metres at Sha Tin. He ends up winning this trial. He's not at Golden 60 Romantic Warrior level, but perhaps just a level below them.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't he? And look, he did everything he needed to do in this trial. It was quite a quiet trial, but he still, as you mentioned, won the trial. Look, it'll be interesting to see if they do make a mid-race move with him, because he's another one that can be a bit of a stayer as well. He doesn't mind the longer trips. And I thought that the trial was good enough. So we'll see where he finishes up. I did put him in, but I put him in a very minor line.
He's had 6 goes over the 2,000 metres for 2 seconds and 2 fourths. So he hasn't been too far away. But a win from Tourbillon Diamond will be a massive surprise on Sunday.
Yeah, it's 1 to beat 2, 2 to beat 1. It's which way you want to go, I think, with these two top horses here in Hong Kong. At the prices, you'd go Golden 60 because he's at 240 versus 150. But I thought Romantic Warrior over the 2,000 metres just might have the wood on Golden 60. There's not much between them. It could either go the other way. So 2 to beat 1, 1 to beat 2. I went 2 to beat 1. 6 Glorious Dragon and then Tourbillon Diamond. 2, 1, 6 and 3 in the end.
Same top 4 as Paul, just swapped the last 2 around. It is Romantic Warrior, just on his 2,000 metre record. He's going to have to be perfect to beat the champ, though. As Paul said, he has won 2 from 3. Had an excuse the time last year when he didn't win, when it poured with rain. 2 Romantic Warrior, 1 Golden 60. 3 Tourbillon Diamond is consistent. He has won 3 from 22, but he's always lurking around the money. And Glorious Dragon, he should be back to peak fitness now, having had those 2 runs back. And he was sneaking home nicely in the Centenary Vase. Steps up in trip, which he is proven at 2,000 metres. So 2, 1, 3 and 6. That is the preview for the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. We're heading to a break here on Racing to Win. A reminder, race number 7, the first of the features, gets underway at 4:05 on Sunday afternoon. Welcome back to Racing to Win as we preview a huge day of racing coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday. We've seen the Group 1, the City Hong Kong Gold Cup prior to the break. Here's the lineup for the second leg of the 4-year-old series on the road to the Derby. It is the Hong Kong Classic Cup. Keefe, he's got the hood going on. He was disappointing last time in the Classic Mile. Voyage Bubble is the Classic Mile winner. Beautyverse won't mind the step up in trip. He went up to 2,500 metres in Australia prior to arriving. Tuchel second in the Classic Mile. Flagship Warrior cheek pieces off and the crossover noseband go on. Galaxy Witness has his first look over the 1,800 metres, as does Super Sunny Singh. Sword Point doesn't. He bolted in over the 1,800 2 runs ago. Encountered comes here via racing at Happy Valley. Wears a hood for the first time, as does Majestic Colour. Simba has the 7-day backup in Bonza Perla with the cheek pieces going on for the first time. She's going to represent the ladies in race number 9. Voyage Bubble, Paul, such a good run in front in the Classic Mile. However, Encountered comes into this race, and that might not make things quite as easy for Jamie Carr this week.
Correct. This is a completely different beast from the Mile because Encountered comes in and because Majestic Colour comes in. Majestic Colour can put some pace into the race if he wants to. I think he's more than likely get a sit. Keithy won't be far away. Simba went forward last time, but he's drawn wide, so he might just find it a little bit tricky there.
Let's have a look at the past winners. Now, there's a little anomaly here, Paul, with California Spangle and Golden 60 appearing on here, because you gave us that stat on Wednesday night at Happy Valley. It's a roughies race normally.
Yeah, it is. Healthy Happy was a really big price. Mission Tycoon was a massive price. I think it was about 90 to 1. We go back to horses like King Dragon that won it. There was a horse that John Size trained, Thunder horse as well, and that was a massive price when he won.
All right, and you've got one at a bit of value for us to keep that tradition going.
Yep, I do like one at a bit of a price, but we can talk about that later.
We will indeed, but we're going to hear from the trainer of the winner of the Classic Mile. His name is Ricky Yu, and he spoke to Nick about Voyage Bubble this week.
Ricky Yu, Voyage Bubble is your runner in the Classic Cup on Sunday. Obviously, mightily impressive in the mile. Just once again, reaction on that win. I mean, it was a very impressive one, and he's taking on a number of rivals here once again.
Yes, really looking forward to see how he runs over 1,800. It'll be a little bit bigger task for him, but I think looking at him and considering the pedigree, I think another 200 meters more, I think it shouldn't be a problem for him because he's a horse that keep improving.
Talking of that improvement, he has had a recent trial, very impressive in the trial. What was your reaction on that?
Seems to me, like I said, he's improving, and looks like the further he goes, the better he gets. You know, especially in the straight, he just kept going. You know, with that the speed he had, I think there shouldn't be a worry. You know, over 1800.
That being the trial, of course, as far as his sort of track work goes and things, is he a horse that's quite easy to deal with and get ready? I mean, have you done much with him in track work outside of the trial?
Just keep him happy. You know, he's quite an easy horse to train. He from day one, he always eat up his feet, and although he had some small issues before he really kick on. And I think, generally speaking, is a nice horse in making. He's an easy horse to train.
He certainly is. And you talk of this being a tougher task. Yeah. In your mind, how much tougher is this than the mile, do you feel, for a horse like Voyage Bubble?
I think 2,000 metre, the Derby is a much tougher task. But another 200 metres extra, I think if they let him do his own thing, he'll perform like he did before.
And when he was allowed to do his own thing, of course, he was very impressive from the front. Jamie Carr rides once again. I mean, the ride that she gave the horse was 10 out of 10. So obviously, I imagine she's looking forward to getting back on board.
Oh yes. I heard that especially he's good for the front runners.
She certainly is. And just where you're drawn as well, you're in gate number 6. So I guess a nice spot to be, really.
Yes, no complaint. More than happy. She's not too inside, not too much inside, not too far out. In the middle. I think he'll lead again, most likely. Yeah.
He comes through this task. It's all roads leading to the Derby, I suppose.
Oh yes, it's getting very, very exciting.
There he is, Ricky Yu and Voyage Bubble. We're going to see the race again here, Paul. There's not too much to digest because not too much changes other than Keefe drops off and Galaxy Witness runs on.
Yeah, he does. Look, it didn't really suit these horses at the back. So, look, a lot of them are going to be better suited in this particular race with the extra pace on. You can see him doing it nicely, Voyage Bubble. I mean, the 1800 metres is a query being by Deep Field, but look, the horses just really stayed on nicely, but he did get the race run to suit. This is going to be a bit of a different beast, but the horse is in form, he's going well. I think he's a good chance. I thought Tuchel hit the line strongly as well, so I think both these two are good chances, and some of those ones running on I didn't mind as well.
All right, here is what happened as far as the breakdown positioning running. As you can see, we only needed 3 arrows. Of course, they were about the only changes the entire race. Yeah,
well, exactly. The races didn't really move, did they, as you can see? So it was just the way that the race was run. I thought La City Blanche didn't have the race run to suit. He will this time up to 1800 metres. And the horses like Flagship Warrior as well. So they're ones at sort of bigger prices. And you can see the sectionals here as well for this particular race. With Galaxy Witness did the one that finished off, and he was the one that we had a query about 1600 metres as well, wasn't it?
Bonza Perla home in 22.8 there as well, and Beautyverse 22.86. Beautyverse not only winning over 2,500, he won over 2,000 metres as well prior to arriving. Hasn't this horse been a find, Paul? Super Sunny Singh, he's untested over 1,800 metres, but the way he's been racing over the mile, the extra 200 doesn't look like it's going to be a problem.
Looks that way, doesn't he? Behind the Coney, this one. Look, he comes in with completely different form lines. So, look, he definitely has to go in, I think. He's just going so well. He's won his last 3. And he's got a really nice... He should get a really nice run from barrier 5. And, gee, 1 on the air here. So, look, if he wins this race, he's going to be the favourite for the Derby, I think.
It could be a big day for Vincent Ho. You've been following this horse around Happy Valley. He might put the pace in the race. What about the switch to the bigger track? Yeah, look, it should suit him. He has won here before at a big price. He was over 200 to 1, I think, or close to 200 when he won at the back end of last season. So Sha Tin's not a problem for him. He's going well at the moment. Just barrier 9 with Voyage Bubble on his inside just worries me a little bit. Some trials. There is Tuchel in this trial. Bonza Perla runs 4th. Now, what we don't see here is Flagship Warrior made a real mess of the start, and he flies home in those orange colours. Very quiet trial, and for most of these horses, you say, except for Flagship Warrior, you can see him just getting ready now in those yellow and orange colours. Very good trial from Tuchel, though. He was going very nicely. And Flagship Warrior, he was finishing off the best of the rest. And look, he's a winner. He's only had the 2 starts here and has 1. Cross noseband will go on him for the first time here in this particular race. Karras did talk about Flagship Warrior and Hong Kong Direct, suggested he just wasn't ready when they jumped, and that was the reason that he missed the start and thinks it's only going to be a one-off. Now, you mentioned it's a race for long shots. John Size, Fantasy Thunder was the horse you were trying to think of?
It was, yeah, it was Thunder Fantasy, and he did win at about 23 to 1. Look, the horse I like here is La City Blanche. He's won over 2,000 in Argentina. He's run really well. He really caught the eye at his second start. I think he's going to be rock hard fit coming in this. Tony Cruz's horses are going really well. And I just think he'll get the race run to suit. So at a double figure price, he's on top. Tuchel should get the best run. Voyage Bubble will be hard from the front, and Super Sunny Sing. It's a really good race, this, but I am going for value because that's what history's showing. 11, 4, 2 and 8.
History was made to be broken, so Super Sunny Sing goes on top. He's just been doing such a great job. Crusoe's got him flying. Vincent Ho rides 2 rides on the horse for 2 wins, and he has just been unstoppable in his last 3 starts. Tuchel's going to get a perfect trip from barrier number 1. Sword Point on the way. He won over 1,800 metres 2 starts ago. Then he was 4.5 lengths behind Voyage Bubble. He's drawn 13 and Voyage Bubble is going to lead up. We'll see how far he can run at out over the 1,800. 8, 4, 9 and 2 for race number 9. But it is a case, Paul, of not only those 2 races we previewed on Racing to Win, there's some high quality on the support. Who are some of the winners?
I think Beauty Eternal will win, but he'll be very short in race number 3. Do like a couple of first starters, which is Around the Globe and Noble Win, and Thunderbolt Saurus, I think, is ready to win as well.
All right, and you can find the breakdown, all of those races on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. You gave us a hint of your best bet. There's a bit of Jurassic Park about it.
It is. Thunderbolt Taurus, I think, can win. He's only had the 2 starts to date, and I think he's ready to win this horse. So Hugh Bowman aboard for David Hall. Their combination was in great form last week, so I think that's the best. And the long shot will do it as we talked about in the big race. Race number 9, the Classic Cup. La City Blanche, get back, should get the race run to suit. And in race 5, Dancing Code and Noble Win, first starters, both of them here in Hong Kong, along with Superb Cabalist, a QQP, 6, 8 and 13.
Going to wait for the last with Beauty Missile fitter for that first run here in Hong Kong. Zach Purton rides for Frankie Law. He did run second, so race 10, number 5, the best. The value, race 5, number 11, Anea Fortune, hasn't raced since January. He's had 2 trials over the 800 metres. He raced good horses during his first 4 starts in the play in the last 5, 11 and 13. 8 QQP. That has been Racing to Win, Paul, and what a meeting Sunday.
We're really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a pearl. And don't forget that really good triple trio jackpot as well.
And we'll see you for the first of the 10 races at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon.